I'm always hungry, can't get enough to eat. Yeah, I'm hungry, can't get enough to eat.
First of all, my most greatest apologies for not updating in ages. I had a lot on my mind, and school is a pain in the back like always. I'm sorry I wasn't able to update. I also had a lot of other stories I worked on, but now here's a new chapter. It will not be that long, but at least it's something. Enjoy. Peggy put on her uniform early in the morning and waited a while until the soldiers came around. She worried a little about last night. Maybe she had gone a little bit too far with letting Steve fondle and kiss her breasts. It really went a little over the top. But the truth was she was a little bit horny from time to time. And she didn't want a man who just wanted her only because she looked good. But someone like Steve, who was not a strong man, he was naive, weak, and a lot more sensitive than most of the soldiers here. She walked out of her own cabin and went to the training field with Steve and Charles. So to be clear, you got a big shot last night, Charles said, and Steve nodded. Steve had told everything about last night to Charles, and Beckett himself told about what he saw last night. So you think that Hodge will try to murder us just to get to Peggy? Steve asked. Beckett shook his head. No, I don't think it was him. Hodge may be a jerk, but he's no murderer. I suppose he may have hired someone, he said. Both men stood up and walked out of their barracks. Do you think he hired someone at this camp? Steve asked. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's hard to tell. Just to be sure, we have to keep our eyes open for everyone. The next friendly neighbor could be the one trying to get rid of us, Beckett said. A while later, all the soldiers had to climb up the wall. Steve had a little trouble climbing. He was behind everyone. He climbed a little higher, but he was psychically not really strong to climb a wall that fast. And then Hodge came. You better pray you land softly, he said, and suddenly there was a knife in his hand. Then he cut the cable that held Steve from falling. Steve held tight to the wall and tried to get his feet to a good grip. Hodge smiled maliciously. He kicked on Steve's hand, but the weak soldier was still able to hold on. She will be mine, Wimp, my little slave for life, he said, and kicked another few times on Steve's hand, but still Steve managed to hold on. This made Hodge even more furious, and he stabbed Steve's arm with his knife, causing the soldier to yell in pain and lose his grip. However, just as he felt a hand grabbed his and stopped him from falling to the hard ground. Don't worry, man, I got you, Charles Beckett said, and he pulled Steve up, so the young soldier could get a decent grip. Charles unbuckled his cable and put it around Steve. You need it more than me, he said, and climbed up further. Beckett and Steve both shot the climbing Hodge a death glare. That night, Steve and Charles were in their barracks thinking of a plan. Steve, however, had his mind somewhere else. Peggy is so sweet, and her breasts were so big and soft and warm. He instantly snapped out of his thoughts. Not that he never had them before, but ever since last night, these thoughts were truly going in and out of his head. Listen, Steve, I'm going to patrol around the barracks to make sure we won't be attacked. Get some rest, all right, Beckett said as he left Troch the door. Steve laid down and closed his eyes. He was alone in the camp, standing in nothing but his boxers. Luckily, there was nobody around to see it. Except that woman. Peggy Carter looked so sexy, only wearing her undergarments. Her big, luscious breasts hidden behind her black bra, and her black underwear covering her most sacred area. She smiled and purred.
I've been waiting for you for so long now, Steve,
she purred. She then decided to pull down her underwear, but just before that part, a shot went troch the tent. Luckily this chapter is done. I know not much. but at least better than doing nothing. Once again, my apologies for the long wait. I promise to work more on this story. Greetings, Lord Shockwave.
So my family doctor said I had a big tapeworm.